All right, guys. So I just got off the spring challenge announcement call, and that was so fun. Congrats to all of you guys. I know I can only do one grand prize winner, but if you participated and even did one thing on there, you win. And if you didn't do one thing, but you celebrated somebody else's one thing or bingo, then you also win, because that was so much fun for like to see the community kind of supporting each other and everybody sharing tips, and it was just so much fun. And I appreciate especially how we had a lot of new people participate, and I felt like our Fitme like family really like stepped up and was really helpful and encouraging and welcoming to all the new people. So like thank you so much for doing that, but also thanks for inspiring me. I mean, that was a really solid week of wins. And so I know Brenda told me that she's going to just keep the bingo card and just like work on one each week. And I think that that's awesome. Even if you just did one per week and you just knock them out and then you circle back to the beginning, you'd have a pretty organized and squared away environment. And funny enough, I think that's a perfect transition into our call for tonight. The things that we talk about in Fitme, like our weekly topics, but also kind of our materials, everything that we talk about, none of it's super duper complicated. It's all straightforward basics, but we talk about a different thing each week. So these Sunday calls, their whole intention is that they give you something you can focus on. Like if you had one of these, like a board that you could put on your fridge and you wrote the Sunday topic, and each week you thought to yourself, I'm not going to do it perfect, but what if I just like made it 1% forward or 2%? Like I just improved it by 2%, whatever the Sunday topic is. And you did that every single week. You would be in a very different place. But sometimes we get in our head and we think, oh, I got to do all or nothing. Like I've got to do it perfect, or I'm just not going to touch that. I don't want you to think about it that way. I want you to think about each Sunday topic as like, okay, this is where I'm focused for the week on something that I can add into the picture. But you're going to see them repeat, because at the end of the day, like we're going to help you build confidence and consistency in your nutrition, your movement and exercise, and your boundaries and body image. That is what we're doing. So each week you're going to be like, oh, this topic helps me either build confidence or consistency in one of those three categories. Now, you're going to see tonight, we're going to talk about grocery shopping. For some people, this one's an easy one. It's like, I already have a routine. I'm crushing it. Or for other people, this is one of the most stressful things, grocery shopping, and feeling good and confident about grocery shopping. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. How do we make the process of organizing our list and shopping easier? We're going to brainstorm it together, and then you guys are going to get a PDF. So Coach Sam put together a PDF for you that if you want to use to fill out with one of the strategies we're going to talk about tonight, you'll have that. And so we'll send that out on the app tomorrow. I want to show you something about the app really quickly and before we dive in, because we're going to start sharing more support documents for you to use, and they're all going to be in your app. Brooke's actually going to make you a video to show you exactly how to get to them, but I'm going to show you right now. So if you want to look on your phone, I will show you right now how to get to it. So if you open up your Fitme app, you're actually going to scroll down and you're going to see my groups. If you tap on my groups, Fitme community, tap on Fitme community, you're going to see a bunch of awesomeness that's happening inside of our group. If you click on that little eye in the top right-hand corner, so there's a little eye in the top, it's like info or something, top right-hand corner, that eye. Down, you're actually going to see some workouts that I put in there. And so I'll be putting more, but then you see, you can click that little document button, and PDFs are there. And so we'll send them out, but we'll also attach them there. And that way you can find them whenever you want. And so even if you don't get to them in a given week, you can go back and find PDFs. Everything you could want resource-wise will be right there in your app. So just quick like quick reminder, Brooke's going to make you a video. Go to my groups, hit Fitme community, hit the I, and then down at the bottom, hit the little document guy, and you'll find the PDFs. And so we'll put a PDF in there for this grocery shopping topic for you to use this week. So I'm going to tell you about what grocery shopping used to look like for me. And then I'm going to tell you what it looks like now. And I'm going to tell you what I see to be the most successful strategies for the people who find a way to make this work for them. What I used to do is I would go to the grocery store with no plan and hungry, because I would be busy doing all my errands, and I would just stop at the grocery store. And so I would be there hungry. I would usually have my crazy kids with me. My boys were little when I would do this. And I would just walk through every aisle. I would just walk up and down the aisles, and I would just pick what I thought that I wanted. Sometimes I would pick things that looked healthy. Sometimes I would pick things that looked yummy. Sometimes I would pick things that like just seemed like a good deal. It was just random. And I often felt overwhelmed because if I picked something that looked healthy, I wasn't sure what goes with it. And I impulse picked lots of things. Like whatever was in front of me, it could be an impulse buy. And side note, this is just like one of the things that I've done, and I don't know if you've ever done this. Have you ever bought something from the grocery store that you like knew you didn't really want to eat, but you were going to eat it anyway, and then ate it before you even put it in the car? So that way, like, doesn't count. Like between when you paid for it and when you loaded in the car, like you actually got it out of the bag and ate it. Anybody ever done that? Just me? So anyways, that is the old way. Now, if you're doing any version of that, whether it's in person or through online ordering, what's happening is the reason that it might not be working for you is because, one, it's costing you extra money. Two, you don't have a plan. So sometimes you're going to buy things and they're going to go bad because you didn't have a plan for how you're going to use them. So they just look like they should be a quality choice, and they might be, but because there's no plan, then they go bad. And then three, you're buying stuff that you're hoping that you have like the willpower slash, I'm going to just have one serving of that Ben and Jerry's ice cream kind of mindset, when you know that that's not going to be the case. I'm not saying you can't have that in your house. I'm just saying you got to know yourself. And so if you're ending up buying sort of randomly, you're sort of giving yourself this opportunity to waste money, to potentially waste food, and still feel frustrated and overwhelmed because you've got stuff that is surrounding you that doesn't work for you. So what's the alternative to that? You've probably heard that you should shop the outside of the grocery lane. That's like a strategy for when you're in the store, but that's not really what we're talking about. We're trying to make the whole process of grocery shopping less overwhelming and work better for you. So if and when you find yourself in the grocery store just randomly, that's a great strategy. But what should you do to plan your week? That's what I want to talk about right now, and when you should grocery shop and how. So how many of you, I just want to take a poll from who's here. How many people shop in person and how many people shop online for groceries? Put it in the chat. Cindy's online. In person, both. Mostly online. Natika's in person, Linda's in person, April's in person. Okay. Got it. So more in person than online right now, which is, and some people are both. We're going to start with this strategy, and then I want to open it up because I want to brainstorm some of the ones that work really well for you guys. You can approach meal planning a couple of different ways. You can have a recipe planned for every night of the week and work in reverse and put everything on a list. That is one way. Another way to do it, this is personally what I do, is I pick 3 proteins and 3 veggies, 3 fresh vegetables and 3 proteins each time I go grocery shopping. So I don't have to think about 75 million ingredients. I'm just thinking, okay, I'm getting pork chops, I'm getting fish, and I'm getting chicken thighs. I'm buying broccoli, I'm buying asparagus, and I am buying, I don't know, Brussels sprouts. That is the way that my brain thinks about grocery shopping, to simplify. Because here's what happens when you only buy 3 and 3. You've just created Fitme plates. You've just created 3 dinners for the week that are Fitme plates easily. Now, the starches are going to feel more like pantry items. So you want to come up with your list of like your basics that you always have in the pantry, like rice, maybe it's potatoes, maybe it's garlic, maybe it's citrus, sort of like your pantry staples that you restock when they run out. So if we run out of rice, we restock rice. If we run out of potatoes, I just restock potatoes. But I don't think about those as sort of like, what am I buying for the week when I'm planning? I think about what are my proteins and what are my fresh veggies. If I do fruit, it's the same. I never buy more than 3. I'll buy bananas, I'll buy strawberries, blueberries, done. That's it. So this rule of 3 does a couple things. 1, it helps you build meals because it's simple. And 2, it makes sure you don't waste food, or at least doesn't make sure. You can still waste food, but it helps you because you're not getting too many things. Now, what if you have a giant family, or you guys just burn through food and you're making these every single night, and now it's Wednesday and now you have no more food? You can do 2 things. 1, you can set up a reorder or a re-pickup and do like a, midway through the week, or you just get more. So you could simply make it 4 if that's what works for you. This isn't like a Christy says 3 only rule. But what I'm trying to have everybody understand is there's a 70 million items that you're going to put in your grocery cart potentially. But I want you to identify the 3 proteins and the 3 fresh veggies that are going to be the cornerstone of your big meals for the week. And then everything else you just build in like a restock. And so it's like, well, if you always have yogurts, then you're restocking yogurts. If you always have, if you always take a, turkey jerky with you in your car, you're restocking your turkey jerky. So you're going to come up with your kind of like restock staples and then your like fresh variety ones. So this is the way that I shop. And then what happens for me is that I just repeat that list. So one of the benefits of online shopping is that your list repopulates. That's another good reason for like pickup shopping, because it will repopulate your list. So then you're just going to go back through and be like, yep, I need that, I need that, I need that. And it's going to remind you sort of your go-tos. So if you've done some of the meal prep homework that we've talked about the past few weeks, or if you've like planned out some of your like go-tos, they're going to pop up and remind you, oh, I haven't done tacos in a bit. Like, let me get my stuff for tacos, or let me get my stuff for whatever. If you're an in-person shopper, then I recommend that you get some sort of a grocery shopping journal book. It can be little, it can be medium, whatever you want. But I think, and again, if you are cruising, if grocery shopping is easy for you, disregard. If it's not, then you got to write it down. You don't get to skip the planning part if it's hard. If this is hard for you and you're picking random stuff and you're just not able to like make it work yet, then it's like mandatory. Get yourself a book, write down your list and your plan for the week. Then next week, you flip the page over, same book, new plan, grocery list, what you're going to get, what are your 3s. You're going to be able to take the PDF that we send out. And if you want to use that, that's going to help you, because that's what it's going to prompt you to do. It's got some staples on there, like we're talking about. And then it's got some combos that you can do. And it's like, what are my 3? What are my 3? And then let that kind of be the basis for your journal. Highly, highly recommend. So those are just a couple of strategies to help you get more confident with your grocery shopping. I would like to hear though from you guys. I want to hear things that work well for you regard to your meal planning and your grocery shopping. What tips and tricks do you have that you want to share, or questions? Anybody?
So Christy, how do I?
You're good. Oh, there you are.
So I made this, it's like literally just on my cupboard where I see it every time I walk by. I have a place for like groceries right here, and then I do all of my meal prep and stuff up there. Um, and I do that on a weekly basis, and I haven't been like the past 2 weeks, and I've been lost for dinners. So that's my little trick. I got like it's just whiteboard stick-on stuff from Amazon, and I
Mhm.
have that, and I have a list over on my pantry doors, and it helps because it's in my face.
When do you grocery shop? Do you grocery shop the same day each week?
Um, Usually, sorry, either like today, Sundays, or Wednesdays.
Do you have to do 2 orders or just one?
Um, Depends on the week, but usually I do my bulk grocery shopping at the beginning of the month. So if I do any type of shopping in the mid-month, it's to get like the little things for specific meals.
I
But
like it.
I do bulk shopping at the very beginning and then kind of go through all that. So I plan my meals around what I bulk shop.
I like that. I think that's another strategy that I didn't mention, which is doing shopping in bulk, which is a great way to save money. PS. Like if you have access to one of those big stores like a Costco, a Sam's Club, a BJ's, like one of those where you can buy in bulk, but even your regular grocery store, especially in the freezer section, you can buy things in bulk and save quite a bit of money. And it also gives you, if you have one of those, like an Instant Pot or something like that, things can go straight from the freezer, even if you bought it in bulk, and you can still have it that same day. Jamie Lynn, what I loved about what you said though, is that like, this is what works for me. And then you showed us what works for you, because you obviously had to create that to have a plan for your week. And then when you don't use it, you don't have you said like you're all over the place for your dinners. So what we want for everybody is we have to figure out what works for you. And if I was like, take me on a tour, like if I showed up at your house and I'm like, take me on a tour, I want to see how you do your grocery shopping, and I want to see how you meal prep and how do you plan your week. I want you to be able to like, Christy, this is what works for me. I do this. And if you don't have what works for you, that is literally your mission this week, is to move the needle forward a couple percent and figure out a little bit about what works for you. So who else has got a strategy to share? I like the bulk shopping strategy from Jamie. I also like that like little board that she uses. Anybody else?
Christy, I'll go.
Yeah.
I don't have a magical strategy, but I definitely have gone from shopping every aisle to sticking to the perimeter of the store
Mm-hmm.
in my weekly shopping, unless I absolutely need like a condiment or something like that. I get my rice in bulk from BJ's, so
Mm-hmm.
then I even need to go into the inside of the aisles for that, because I get my potatoes from the perimeter of the store. Everything I get is generally from the perimeter of the store, and that has helped me to avoid the junk.
Mm-hmm.
If I go down the chip aisle or the cookie aisle, if it's on sale, it could be a cookie that I don't even like cookies, but if for some reason they're on sale for $1.99, for some reason there's
Mm-hmm.
a desire to have it in my cart, like I'm saving money on some crap that I won't even eat.
I'm going to tell you why this for some reason. The for some reason is that they have spent millions and maybe billions of dollars to create packaging, food placement, and pricing strategies that make you put that in your cart. It's like going in the wild, wild west when you go down those middle aisles. I want all of the Reese's Cocoa Puffs cereal. I love that. Yeah, that's a good one, Natika. It is, and if you can get your stuff in bulk and not even have to go down there, then that's awesome too.
We do that too. We shop the perimeter of the aisles unless we absolutely need something down the center aisles. And we shop pretty much weekly, but we shop the sales. So sales generally repeat every 4 to 8 weeks, depending on what the item is. And so we always shop the sales and buy things in bulk so that we save money that way.
Mm-hmm. So when you say you shop the sales, like where do you look for the sales?
I have a couple apps. Well, I'm in Oregon, so we have Safeway and Albertsons and Fred Meyer's, and I have all their apps on my phone. So I look at them every single week to see if there's something we need or something that's on sale, especially like meat prices. They've gone so high that I try to buy those things when they're on sale instead of at regular price. And then we have a big freezer, so we just put it in the freezer.
The big freezer is super helpful for being able to save money by shopping in bulk, like getting a freezer. So watch for a freezer like to go on sale or something, and snag a chest freezer or stand-up freezer that can go somewhere in your house. Like that is a great money saver.
I suggest a stand-up freezer if you have the space for it, because the chest freezers, things get lost in the bottom and they're just so hard to keep track of what's in there.
I agree. I definitely agree. I like that, Julie. That's good. I think there are lots of ways that you can save money with healthy food. I actually heard that 2 or 3 times this week. People told me that healthy food is too expensive. And what's funny is that it seems to be too expensive. We have like this perception that it is, but it's actually not if we start to buy it. Like if we just pay attention. I mean, if we just randomly roam through Whole Foods, yes, it's going to feel like healthy food's expensive. But at your grocery store, it's actually, you can build meals that are significantly cheaper than eating out, and they're real food, like Fitme plate style food with like excellent ingredients, and it's like a fraction of what it would be to eat out or order out. So I think like using strategies, like if you're trying to shop on a budget, then plan out your meals and then look for the proteins that are on sale. Like Julie said, price of meat has gone up. And so look for the proteins that are on sale and then build around that. Okay, I found pork. I'm going to make, pork tacos, and we're going to do burrito bowls this week. Okay, I found fish on sale. We're going to do fish and rice and whatever. So you can build around that. I really like that strategy. Julie said, don't go to the store hungry. Agreed.
So something we just started doing, because we have 4 boys and they eat a lot of food, is started to go to the business Costco, because you can buy meat that is actually really good quality meat in like 40 pounds at a time. And so we have 2 freezers because 4 boys. And we buy 40 pounds of chicken thighs and 40 pounds of ground meat and like just different pork, all that stuff. And that has helped a lot for us.
Yeah, that's great. How do you get to go to business Costco?
Anybody can go.
Oh.
Yep. You just have the Costco cards. Anybody can go. Yeah.
It's like a separate store.
Yeah. It's in Linwood.
Oh.
Yeah. So we do that like once every 3 months, and then we do Costco once a month, and then fill in with grocery stores. But I do grocery pickup because I'm not interested in going in the grocery store anymore. I'm over it. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, not with your 4 boys.
No.
So my challenge to you this week is, one, if you're shopping and regularly the food that you're buying is going bad, then I want you to reach out and talk to your coach about that. Because 1, we don't want you to waste money, but 2, if we just might be missing something in the puzzle here for how you're planning your meals. But if you're buying vegetables every week and they're going bad, or you're buying meats and they're going bad, like let's powwow on that and make sure that you've got a plan. if you are not buying them because you've been feeling overwhelmed, then I want you to start with this strategy of 3. This is the simplest, easiest way to go. Pick your 3 proteins for the week, your 3 veggies, and get those. I think that is the simplest way to start. And then if you are already doing well with this, I want to encourage you to share your strategy in the Facebook group. This is what works well for me, or talk about in your Marco Polo group. Share the strategy that works for you with someone else so that they can try it. Because everybody should imagine Christy Campbell showing up at your front door and saying, like, show me what works for you. And then you have an answer. This is what works for me. And we get our groceries so we can do Fitme plates most of the time during the week. And when we, like, I tried these things and I found that this works best. That's the answer that I want to hear. So if you try something and it doesn't work, that's okay. Troubleshoot with your coach, and then we revisit it and figure out what does work for you.
My biggest issue is veggies and having them go bad. So I think I need to prep them at the beginning of the week so that they're already ready to go. So I just have to grab them and not especially like peppers and cucumbers and things. If I don't cut them up right away, then I won't eat them.
Is that what's going bad? Like peppers?
Yeah, the peppers and cucumbers and things, because for me, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. And I don't know. It's a problem.
Do you think, are those like snack choices for you? Or are they going to go in a primary meal?
They're usually snack choices. Sometimes the peppers go in a primary meal, but usually they're snack choices. And like I said, I think I just really need to cut them up at the beginning of the week just to make it easier.
Yeah.
Or like to go on salads or something.
I think if you cut them up so they're completely ready to go at the beginning of the week, then why not like have a party for yourself every day and put yourself out a little party platter with some veggies and, you know what I mean? Like a plate size snack thing, like as though you were going to have a bunch of people over and you're going to put out peppers and cucumbers and carrots and like a little bit of hummus. Just put that out on the counter for yourself and then you'll see it.
That's a good strategy. I'll have to do that.
But the key will be that they're like kind of ready to rock.
Have you tried the baby bell peppers? Those are my jam because I can just grab a handful.
Yeah, but I like to cut them up. And I get lazy and don't want to cut them up. So I need to start prepping at the beginning of the week.
Yep.
That makes sense.
So that's your homework then. That's what I want you to do. You know, your 1% already is going to be to prep your vegetables at the beginning of the week so they stop going bad. Or give them VIP seats in your fridge. Like they need to be like front and center. You know what I mean? Like if you don't want to cut up all your cucumbers because maybe they'll get like mushy midweek, put it right front of your eyeballs. Like don't bury it in a drawer.
Yeah, my ADHD gets in the way, so I get lazy. That's something I'm really working on right now is my ADHD and not being lazy when it comes to meal prep. It's a big problem.
What do you think would be the biggest help for you? Would be like a time on Sundays that you do that? Or would it be most helpful to have like containers that you feel like you're going to like fill up and then you can see them all stacked there? Like what?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go to Costco and guess now that I'm not sick anymore with COVID, I'm going to go to Costco and get some containers, some glass containers. Hopefully they still have them and I can cut up the vegetables and put them in there and that way have them right there in front of me. And then I think my ADHD won't get in the way as far as being lazy on grabbing them because they'll already be cut up.
Yep. I think that sounds perfect. I think get yourself some containers and that way you can fill them up and set them right in front.
Yeah.
I like it. Leah, you got something? I saw you reach.
I was just gonna say, not only do I think about like meal things that I'm gonna buy, but I always grab a couple of easy things like bagged salads, or like I love Costco for like they have like the individual chicken skewers or something like that, because guess what? Sometimes I just don't feel like it. And if I don't feel like it and I don't have food, it's usually gonna go south from there. So that's just kind of a tip, is to have some like easy things for when you don't feel like it, or you don't have time, or something happened, or I didn't pack my lunch because I didn't have food prepped. Well, yeah, you do. You have some easy like grab and goes.
I like that. So everybody's got their homework. I want you to move the needle forward on your grocery shopping strategies this week. I want everybody to feel like they've gotten a little bit more confident with how you grocery shop. So if you need help, then ask for it. And if you are super strong in this area, then share that with someone so that they can benefit from your strength. And if you are not someone who is cruising, then I'd like to see you give your coach a written out list. Everybody says they want accountability. Here's your accountability check. Write out your grocery list and send it to your coach so that they can see it and help you. Cool. Well, that's it for the week, guys. If you need anything, just reach out. But hopefully this was helpful, and we'll upload that PDF tomorrow with the rule of threes. And if you need anything, just let us know. But have a fantastic week.
You
Bye,
too.
guys.
Bye.
See ya.